Welcome to the Kalsamrit podcast. It's Matty Buller here, and I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with one of the champs from our gym, the one and only Peyton Corrigan. How you doing, bud?
Good. Pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to you, bud. I got to tell you, man, every time I watch you fight, you put on a show. That last rec fight, when you ragdolled that kid and just manhandled him, you just chucked him to the ground. It was such a sight to behold because you're kind of like Riley in that your facial expression doesn't change. You don't look aggressive. You still look like friendly Peyton, which is probably scarier to some people. Yeah. Is when you're getting in the moment of something like that, where you've got a guy in your clutches, how do you keep from letting your emotions get the best of you?
It's just repetition. Like you're in the gym and you're training with guys and you get that same emotion that you get in a fight with your teammates. It might even be even worse in the gym because you know who you're fighting and you know who you're beating up or getting beat up by, right? And when you get in the ring, you don't know this guy personally at all, really. And it just comes with experience and your emotions just better fighters, their emotions kind of stay controlled most of the time.
And that's probably the way you want it though, right? Because too much emotion, you're probably going to expend too much energy, right?
And you find if you're angry while you're fighting, you're not throwing the combos you want to throw. You're more throwing, I want to knock you out with one punch, right? And a knockout usually comes from a combo that you're not trying to knock them out with, right?
And setting it up. You got to listen to your corner, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they see what you don't see in the ring. So
yeah, it's actually the interesting thing about doing ring announcing when I got into it is, when I'm sitting in Cody Crowley's corner and I can hear them talk in between rounds, it makes me realize just how little I know about fighting, but also the really intricate and like intense relationship between the corner and their fighter, and how if that relationship's really tight and that bond's really tight, the trust is there. Yeah. You guys work really even though you're alone in the ring, you're really not alone if you got a good corner, right?
If you, the biggest thing is you got to be able to trust your corner, because then when they tell you to throw a head kick or they tell you to do this, and they see it on the outside, you have to be able to do it and believe that they're telling you the right thing to do.
It's like they're playing UFC on PlayStation and they got the controller and they're hitting the 00 button and that's the head kick button. Boom, right? Yeah. That's interesting. So for those who don't know, November 30th is a rec Thai boxing event. It's at the General Sikorsky Hall, and that is November 30th. And Peyton here is the main event. And like I said, this kid... Sorry, I probably shouldn't call you a kid because you're not a kid anymore, but you are to me because I'm an old man. Yeah. But he never fails to put on a great performance, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. Who's your opponent?
I actually don't know how to pronounce his name.
Okay, but do you know kind of his style? Like what are you looking at getting against here?
So he's a little bit shorter, a little bit stockier than me, but the gym he trains out of, very Muay Thai based gym, so we're expecting a clinch. To go into the clinch a little bit. He's more of a traditional fighter, so he's going to be on the outside, not very mobile. So going to pick apart his game and hopefully turn it into my game when we get in there. So
he's the shorter fighter, and from my remedial knowledge, you want to keep the shorter fighter outside, right?
Yeah.
But if he wants to come in, but if he wants to keep you at that distance, does that mean you want to change your strategy and maybe get into that clinch and try to work him on the inside?
Yes. Now, if he wants to play on the outside, I have a longer reach, so I might be able to be better at that game, where he knows how that game's going to work for him. So yeah, I would have to go into the clinch or work on something else other than what the game plan is.
Now, the fight is really just the end product
of what the training
99% of the work goes into your training camp, right?
Camp and weight cut, that's it.
So let's talk about the nutrition aspect of it first. What kind of meal plan, like how many calories a day are you taking in, and what kind of foods are you eating, or does it vary a lot?
It's like I tried the keto diet and I do intermittent fasting every day. The keto worked for me. The only thing that I didn't like about it was I wasn't able to eat like fruits and obviously even the natural sugars like that. But basically for lunches I'd have a little bit of salad and some chicken or some fish or something. It's lots of proteins and fats basically. And I'm down 20 pounds after a couple months. So yeah, it's working for me right now.
Now, being down 20 pounds, how long did it take you to cut 20 pounds to where you are right now? And you said you got another 9 pounds to go, right?
9 pounds to go, yeah.
So how long did it take you to cut that 20? And then how much more do you need? Like, how much of the next 9 is going to be water and how much is going to be diet?
Okay. So the 20 pounds, it probably started about a month and a half ago. So 20 pounds in a month and a half. And then I got 10 days until weigh-ins, and probably lose maybe 1.5 pounds a day, maybe a pound a day.
Okay.
Try to. And then there's going to be a point where your body, there's nothing else to lose.
Right.
And it's going to be all water weight left. So we're looking for a 6 or 7 pound water cut. And we'll do all that the morning of the weigh-ins, and then we'll go weigh in, and hopefully we're good.
So how long does it take you to cut 6 or 7 pounds? You said you do that in the morning?
Oh, yeah. I'll wake up, and I'll have that off in the morning, no problem.
Okay. Really, eh?
Yeah.
And so what do you do, like sauna, or you ride a bike? Or?
Yeah, we have a wood fire sauna at home that we go.
Oh, very cool.
We go into either that, or if we're away somewhere like in Florida or something and we don't have a sauna, we have an Epsom salt bath, and then we wrap ourselves up and go lay down for a bit, and that usually cuts the weight off. And if not, you put some cream on, some Ebeline cream.
Yeah, I've seen people wear that.
And then you put the sauna suit on and you go for a run, and when you're in Florida or something, the weight drops off like no problem, right?
Does the sauna suit, when it's on, does it feel like you're suffocating? Because to me, because that's a plastic suit, right?
Yeah,
nothing breathes.
Your body's not breathing at all. Now it doesn't. The worst part about it is when you first put it on and it's all sticky to you. It
Right.
you can't move or anything. But when you start sweating, it's just a little uncomfortable. But when you haven't eaten in a day and you can weigh in an hour,
Yeah.
you're gonna go through that to get
Now,
there, right?
does that? How much energy does that take out of you? Or if you're doing it smartly, once you rehydrate, you're good to go. Is that?
Depends. Like if you weigh in the day before you fight, you could easily drop 10 pounds and be hydrated and be perfect for the next day. If you're weighing in the same day as you're fighting, you don't want to be jogging on a treadmill with a sauna suit for 2 hours or in and out of the sauna, right? So that's why you try and get low as you can. But yeah, it definitely takes a toll on you if you fight the same day as you weigh in.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher with the amateurs as well, because you guys weigh in the same day that you fight. Like at least a pro boxer or whatever, they weigh in the day before, or sometimes 36 hours before.
Exactly.
And, they'll weigh in at 154 and show up at 168, 170 for the fight, right?
Yeah.
So when you're an amateur, though, what kind of percentage are you looking at losing water-wise where it doesn't totally sap you of strength?
Probably 3% body weight,
Okay.
I would say. That's what we usually do. Yeah, probably 3 or 4%.
Now, I know your cousin Bubba, for his last fight, for those who don't know, Peyton's cousins with Brendan Picard, Bubba Yaga there.
Yeah.
And he'd shown me kind of his meal plans and stuff like that, and he gets it all pre-made with a nutritionist. Do you do that as well, or are you kind of more of a self-school?
My mom will make my lunches for me, so as long as I can keep going, then I'll keep doing that.
Moms are the best, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old I get. I'm in my 40s now. When I go home and I stay at my parents' house, it's like I still feel like I'm that 14-year-old kid who gets taken care of.
Exactly. Yeah, she makes my. If I tell her I want this for lunch and I'm doing a meal plan, or I'm just trying to do a weight cut or something, she does it for my lunches, and she makes dinner. And my dad helps out a lot too for that. So
nice. Now let's talk a little bit about your fight camp, because I'm interested also in what the day-to-day is. So you're right now you're watching your diet and you're getting that done. What about getting your body in shape? How many hours a day are you putting towards getting yourself in shape? Getting ready to fight, and what does that entail? What kind of exercises?
Okay, so right now I'm running in the mornings, and then
how long do you run? Like what's your?
It's usually 20 to 30 minutes, just a nice light jog right before work.
Okay.
And then I'll come home from work and I'll do a 10-minute jog, and then 3 rows till max, usually, like till you can't go anymore. And then we come to the gym and we either skip or we hit a bag for a bit, and then we do class or fighter training, and then we clinch usually after. So you're looking at about 2.5 hours every night at the gym to 3 hours.
So that's quite the commitment, though, right? You've got your morning, which is now taken up. You've got a day gig, right? You work. Yeah. What's your day gig?
I'm a millwright apprentice right now.
Oh, that's a cool gig, too. You'll always have work as a millwright. Yeah. Good job on you. So, and then you do your millwright thing, and then afterwards you got 2.5 hours, and then obviously you got to get your sleep because one thing we're learning more and more about science is recovery is just as important as what you're doing in the gym, is it not?
Yeah, it's key when you need your body to recover just as much as you need your body to work out or anything, right?
Now, when I played football, when I knew I was going to have an opponent, when I played at Laurier and we were going to play Western, right, I would look at the receivers from the University of Western Ontario and try to get their tendencies and stuff on videotape.
Yeah.
Do you break tape on your opponents and kind of look at their game and say, okay, I'm going to work on these things in order to defeat him? Or do you just more, this is a fight, let's fight?
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. You look into who you're fighting, what gym they're fighting out of, if it's a traditional Muay Thai gym or a kickboxing gym, and if they have videos, then you will watch their videos and you'll figure out what your game plan going in is. We have a game plan going into this fight.
I don't want you to spill any state secrets either about what you're going to do.
Exactly.
But, so you do tailor something to your opponent. Now, do you do that with Crew B or
we'll watch the tapes together or with another coach or something, and we'll go over and say, oh, he does this. We got to work on this counter to whatever he does, right?
Right. So I guess the key to being a martial artist that's going to be successful is being able to adapt. I guess you can't really have one particular style, because if your style doesn't match against your opponent's style, you could end up being on the losing end of that fight. So you've got to be able to adapt to your opponent, kind of read and react.
That's exactly it. Yeah, you gotta know. That's why we have so many different bodies to train with. We have the Karate Kid, like karate.
He question mark kicked me once.
Yeah,
I didn't even see what he did.
He'll kick your head off, right? And then you got Ethan Harrod, strong boxer, Brian, strong boxer, and then all these other people, Riley, clinch, right? Oh. Everything.
And Riley's teeps.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like daggers going into your stomach. Isn't he crazy?
Yeah, that's unreal.
I wish my teep game was like even half as strong as Riley's, and I outweigh the kid by 70 pounds.
Usually you get teeped and it pushes you back, but when Riley teeps you, it's more like that
actually
really
feels. Bob and I were talking about this. It
know.
almost feels like he's teeping you with his toes because it's like a dagger, but he's not. He's teeping you with the ball of his feet, it's just such a sharp, direct motion that, and like at the Mark De La Rosa seminar, he literally stopped me dead in my tracks, and I had to take a knee from a teep. As sad as that is, I can't believe I'm admitting that on live on air here. But that's such is the nature of the sport, right? Yeah. We can't all be awesome at everything.
Exactly.
But you train at, I think, the right gym as well. I think the coaches here care about their fighters.
Absolutely, 100%.
There's a lot of killers on this mat.
Oh,
so you've been coming here for how long now?
Oh, it's probably 8 years now.
Yeah, so you were a little guy pretty much when you started, or early teens anyway.
Yeah, I was 12, I think, when I started, I believe.
Right. So, yeah, I've seen there's a picture on the wall over there of you with, I think it's Crew B.
Wonder Boy?
And you look so young.
Yeah.
But, I guess what's great is I always hear Crew B saying iron sharpens iron, and you get a lot,
Exactly.
One round you could end up sparring a guy like Nico, whose crazy movement and karate skills baffles me just to watch it.
Yeah.
You could have Bubba, who just...
elusive and
fast, right? And like you said, then the Karate Kid, so you're going to be watching those kicks, and he's really quick. And then you've got a guy, like you said, like Ethan Harrod.
Yeah.
I call him the Bowmanville Bomber because he's got those heavy hands. Even a guy like another guy fighting on the card, Greg Woodrow, that guy loves to bang. He puts on a good show too, right?
He loves to hit hard. Like, even when we spar, it's always like, let's go, okay. And he loves to hit hard. He loves to fight. He loves to get hit, I think.
Yeah, that boy ain't shy.
No,
I'll tell you that right now. He's about as good of a fighter as he's a tattoo artist. Yeah. He's a damn good tattoo artist.
He is, very good.
And by the way, we'll give him pimp right here. True Believers Tattoo Shop is his shop.
Yeah.
And I believe they're even helping sponsor the event as well, which is pretty cool. So you're the main event. Let's go now talk about the focus mentally. During camp, how do you steel yourself mentally for your opponent? And then game day, what's it like on game day for you? Where's your head at?
Okay, so during fight camp, I try not to focus too much on the fighter, just focus on myself, not worry about who I'm fighting until, because 2 months before, I don't need to go, I'm fighting this big scary guy and get in my own head, right? So a couple weeks out, you start watching the videos, you start looking at who he is, but it doesn't really, to me, like 2 months out, I don't really care who I'm fighting. I'm just getting my body in shape, getting ready to fight whoever it is, and then the week of is when you start thinking about how you're going to fight, and then the day of is all just I'm going to go in there and fight like it's just a normal sparring night, right? I'm going to...
Really? So game day, you really don't do... Like game day for me, like football, used to be like, it's game day. Oh, I'd wake up and I'd just jump out of bed. So like you're more like almost, I guess, like you are in the rinks. When I see you fight, even keel, like I said, you ragdolled that kid, threw him down. There was no look of anger on your face or passion. It was just, I'm doing my job. That's how you approach it?
And there's different, like Bubba, he'll wake up and he'll be like that. He'll be fired up, ready to fight. Whereas when I wake up, it's just another day of training, another day, just go in there, do what I've been working for, and hopefully it's a good outcome.
So before we go, how about a message to some of the young fighters at this gym and their parents as to... They want to end up being the main event. They want to be like Peyton Corrigan in a bunch of years. What do they need to do today to get to where you are eventually?
Just hard work. Stay focused. Even with the little things, like at home when mom's telling you, go make your bed or go do the dishwasher or something, go do that and don't put a fuss up about it or anything, and then one day when Crew B's telling you to do something, it won't be that big of a deal, and you can go do that, and hopefully one day be at the main event. And
I know we've kind of already talked about this, but just how important is it to trust your corner and to make sure that you are almost like one person?
Oh, it's more than half the game. Like, they're on the outside watching, they have the controller, like we said earlier. You got to put all your faith in them, and when they say something, it doesn't matter if you don't see it. It's happened to me. He's said head kick or something, and it's like, oh, I don't see it, I'm not throwing it. And then I watch the video after, I'm like, why didn't I throw a head kick? And then you just gotta put faith in them, and they are the ones who trained you, so gotta believe in them, right?
So just before you go, I gotta tell you a funny story, because you remember my son Peyton as well. He was a couple years, I think, behind you in Bowmanville High, and he was on the wrestling team. And I went and watched you guys. I didn't know you at the time because I just became a member at this gym. And I went and watched him wrestle at OFSA. And he went like 1-1, I think. But we stayed around to watch more of the guys. And you were tearing through guys like Kleenex at a snot party. And I just looked at my kid and I was like, who the hell is that? And Peyton was like, he goes, oh, that's Peyton Corrigan. He's a killer. And dude, I kid you not, watching you wrestle, same thing. Stone-faced. No anger, no emotion, just I'm doing my job. And I think, honestly, man, every time I've watched you fight from then on, and also the rec events and stuff, it's been a very entertaining event. So for those of you that are listening that haven't got your tickets for November 30th, Peyton's fighting. He's the main event, and we've got a bunch of other bangers on the card. It is going to be, every time rec happens, it sells out, and people are always sad they don't get tickets. So make sure you go talk to Crew B. Let's get those tickets. Let's fill up General Sikorsky Hall November 30th with Kalsamrit people, so that we can make sure that our fighters come out on top. And Peyton, I wish you nothing but the best of luck, and go get them on the 30th, pal.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Cheers.